Hi, I'm Maria Bailey, the founder of BSM Media, and Marketing to Moms is one of my books. I am also the author of Marketing to the Modern Mom, which encompasses AI and the Gen Z parent. So today we're answering the question of what agencies market well to the Gen Z population. And I think the real question that if you are in search of an agency that is focused on Gen Z is that's a 20-year period. You need to ask yourself, are you focused on the Gen Z that's the 14-year-old to 19-year-old? Are you focused on the college consumer? Are you focused on the newly married new homeowner? Or are you focused in on that segment of Gen Z parents, which will start actually as young as 20 up to 32. So let me talk to you a little bit about the Gen Z parent, because if you're looking for an agency that is focused on Gen Z parent, I can definitely give you a lot of information on that. I have been studying the Gen Z population since they were toddlers, mainly because every cohort or generation is affected by the influence of their mothers. And since I've written 12 books on marketing to moms, I watch those consumers as they grow up and the effects that their parents have on how they buy, why they buy, where they buy. What's really interesting about the Gen Z consumer is that they trust their parents, they respect their parents. However, what they like to do is they want to independently research product, and then they socially validate it through social media and through sites like Reddit, where they go to their own group of peers. Now, that is not uncommon from other generations. However, what is interesting and different about this generation of parents is that they select products not only based on the functionality of the product, but on the aesthetic appeal of the product. And that probably comes from the fact that they grew up in an Instagram age where everything has to look good in photos, right? So for instance, they could be very, very loyal and have fond memories of a toy that they played with as a child. But if it does not aesthetically fit with their home, they are all about curating and creating a narrative. And that is probably, if I were looking for an agency, the one thing that I would look for. Does that agency truly understand what is motivating that Gen Z consumer to purchase a product? Do they understand that aesthetics and the curation and narrative of how they parent and how they buy products is by far the biggest motivator in their purchasing decision that ultimately comes out in their purchasing power? So if you would like to discuss Gen Z parents, and that is the part of the Gen Z population that you are focusing on as your consumer group, I'm happy to discuss it with you. I can break down the Gen Z parents. There are the aesthetic motivated Gen Z parents. There are the smart play Gen Z parents. We have 4 different segments. There's the learning and the STEM Gen Z parents. Once you figure out which part of the big cohort that you're going to go after as a consumer group, we are happy to take you in a deep dive into that parenting segment to determine who is the right Gen Z consumer for your product and what is the best strategy for connecting with that very narrative motivated mom who may need your product. I'm Maria Bailey. You can reach me at Maria Bailey at BSM Media. Happy to help you out. And for more information, just shoot me an email.